Hey guys, welcome to this video. So in this video I'm just going to explain you about the course that I'm going to plan for the future. Okay, so it will be on February or March. Okay, so date is not confirmed yet. So this course is completely about Oracle SQL performance tuning. Okay, so but it does not completely cover all the aspects of SQL tuning in Oracle, but it will cover the important part of SQL tuning, and it also help you to face your day-to-day issues, and also helps you troubleshooting the issues and save time. Okay, so if you are completely beginner or if you are an intermediate, then the methods that I show you will help you in your day-to-day DBA tasks. Okay, so I have been in a situation where customers were screaming, and also the management was asking for the update and pressurizing the existing DBA team for root cause or to fix the issue, or even though if it is a database issue or not, right? Still, they expect something to be tried out from the database team, right? So as a DBA, instead of knowing all the tools that are existing as part of the tuning, or to completely, so there are, let me just explain you. There are multiple aspects of tuning. Okay, so it depends on each and every individual's role or position on how to tune the SQL, right? So from the application side, we can tune the SQL. So it is the code layer where application engineer, what he do, he just modify the code, right? So he just optimizes the code if the code is not if the code is suboptimal, right? So if the code is written in a bad way, in bad way to execute, and also it takes a lot of resource, so definitely, obviously, it's not an optimal code, right? So the code should be written in such a way that it should not parse multiple times, and it should not it should be reused. Okay, so it should not be again and again recreated in the Oracle database. Okay, so developers who does not know how Oracle behaves, right? So they just write code in a generic aspect. Okay, so it may be Postgres or SQL Server, or each and every database behave in a different way. So they cannot completely write a code. If they are completely into SQL Server, then they may not be completely knowing how Oracle behaves, right? So in those cases, the code will be completely rewritten, or it will be hard parsed, and also optimizer has to again and again generate the execution plan multiple times. Okay, so but optimizer may not be that intelligent if the proper statistics and the data is not given to it, right? So from the code layer, what application engineer can do, he can just rewrite the query. Okay, so instead of asking instead of scanning multiple data and filtering out only less rows, that is not a good way. So just ask what is required, that's it. So most of the code most of the SQL statements have performance issue because they don't ask what is required. Okay, so they just ask more than what is required, but get only few out of the whole picture. So this is one way of tuning. The other way of tuning is to use the tools. Okay, so Oracle itself has internal tools. Okay, and Oracle also tune the SQLs automatically. So there are some algorithms and internal advisors which will make sure that the SQL is having the proper execution plan, and it will try to tune the SQL. Okay, but that's not the job of the DBA to monitor. Okay, so these are internal jobs which may execute by itself and try to optimize the SQL. Okay, this is another way, and the other way is to manually. So these tools can be manually used or automatically used, right? So if you enable the jobs, then Oracle automatically use these tools to optimize the SQL, or you can also use the tool manually to tune the SQL. So the other way is to not use the tools, okay, and also not rewriting the query. So this is the third way of tuning the SQL, okay, only with the execution plan, okay. But for generating the execution plan, we will be using some commands, so those are kind of internal tools only. But if I say some advisors, right, I'm just the second one, I'm just mentioning about the advisors and other fancy tools, okay. So the HTML or OEM, so these tools are they will be pretty straightforward, right? So if you see the graph, you will easily understand what is actually happening. But this is not using any other fancy tools, but using the minimal tools. But you as a DBA will investigate by checking the execution plan. So that's what we are going to see in this course completely, and it is completely practical, and I'm not going to use more theoretical aspects, but for a few introduction section, I will be using some theory for your ramp up phase, okay. So first we will be seeing introduction to SQL tuning. So these are all the concepts that we will see. Okay, first you need to understand what exactly is SQL tuning, right? So it's not only about tuning, or it's not only about optimizing the SQL. There are a lot of things beyond that. And next one is roles in SQL tuning. So obviously every DBA once in his lifetime he should have been gone through a performance issue, or he would have been given some work related to tuning a SQL. So obviously it will become a nightmare if we don't know a proper or standard way of approaching these kind of issues, right? If suddenly say for example, I'm just 1 or 2 years Oracle DBA with an experience of so 2 years of experience. So if I am given a SQL tuning problem suddenly, okay, so there are you cannot say that every organizations will be that standard or sequential in giving you the work, okay. So they may immediately give you some work if you are a good problem solver, or even if you have no knowledge on that, they will just give you some issues directly. And it also depends on the projects that you work, right? So every projects may not be that tedious, okay, but few of the projects may be very you can say it may be very critical, so you have to act very quickly, right? So next we will see the Oracle execution plan fundamentals, okay. So we are not going any deeper, okay, since I'm just covering only a part of SQL tuning, and also that part will be I will just deep dive into that part, okay. So I'm not going to cover any other tools. So if you are expecting a more lengthy course, then this course is not for you. So this is just a minimal 10 hours or 15 hours course where I'll be just explaining you what exactly that is needed for your day-to-day life, okay. So if you, after you complete this course, what you will be doing, you will be whenever you see any issues, you will just go towards it, okay, instead of escaping from the issue, okay. So all the experienced DBAs would have knowledge by like after some years of experience, they would have some knowledge. But when you are a junior DBA, obviously there will be some fear or some overwhelming whenever some issue is given, and they chase on you, right? So there will be some SLAs, and they will again poke you asking for the update. So we should be in a position to at least justify that whether this is a database issue or whether this is a application issue, right? So you'll be able to confidently explain to any of your management or your application team or developer that this is what happened, so this action should be taken. So you need to discuss with the management for the pros and cons about this, right? So it will save you a lot of time. So if you are if it needs a lot like 1 hour or 2 hours for investigating an issue, this will directly go to the point, okay, instead of revolving around and after 2 hours finding the point, right? It will just take 5 minutes for you to directly identify what exactly happened, okay, and then you will be able to understand what was the issue. So next comes the objectives of effective SQL tuning. So this is kind of resource usage management, and also the response time and scalability. And then next comes the principles of SQL tuning. So these are just theoretical parts, okay? So first you need to know a high level understanding of SQL tuning, okay? So then we will be going into the practical lessons, okay? So then the methodology. So what will be the standard methodology? Okay, so there are a lot of different ways of tuning the SQL. Okay, so I'm just going to explain you only one aspect of the SQL. That methodology will be explained in this session. And next comes the runtime statistics deep dive. So obviously we need to understand what are all the statistics in the plan, right? So then we need to further progress our analysis. So next comes the procedure. Okay, so this is kind of what you will be doing once the issue, once you come out of the issue, right? Once you give a justification or once you tune the SQL and the SQL is running like a running with a rocket speed. So after that, again, what needs to be done after you complete tuning the SQL? But in real time, this may not be applicable, because you may have thousands of 10,000s of SQLs in a database, right? So but if there are only few environments and few SQLs, and people are very focused on those environments, and if they're very critical, then you need to collect some information so that if the same issue happens in future, you need to make sure that the what exactly happened, what exactly changed, right? So obviously every SQL performance issue happens because of a change. So you need to understand what exactly changed from the current baseline. So that needs to be understood. Next comes the guidelines. Okay, so this is what I explained already, that here we are going to see about the different methodology, where we are not going to rewrite the SQL. We are not going to use any tools to directly get the recommendations, but we are going to analyze the execution plan. Okay, by checking the plan, we are going to either tune or whether recommend the application team, saying that this is not the right way. Next comes the actual practical lesson. So what are all the things that we practically check, and what may be the reasons, right, for the execution plan, bad execution plan. Okay, and also next we will see the different steps in the execution plan and how we can control them. And again, the last one is I'll be just giving you some homework and exercises so that you can practice yourself, right? So course or any training without any practice is useless, right? So if you are completely learning theoretical things, then that may help you in understanding what exactly it is, but when you do it practically, your way of seeing things, right, the perspective will completely change from what you read in the theoretical aspect. Okay, so you by yourself will know what to do instead of searching for other things. Okay, so hope this course will be an investment, future investment for you, because in today's world of DBAs, if you see a lot of DBAs there are a lot of competitions for a single position, and also you may need to be unique compared to other DBAs in order to get a particular position. And I would say knowing all the other administration tasks will be helpful, and it will be useful, but all those kind of activities are already pre-recorded, right? So pre-recorded in the sense all the steps are already given. Okay, so if you are installing a database, right, anyone can install a database if you are giving it to a fresher, right? So if you just give the document on how to install, you just shadow him for one time, and if you just give the document for the next time, he himself as a fresher will install the database, right? So, and similarly you can give any other activities, right, unless until there is an issue while installing or while upgrading or patching, you don't need to intervene. So the fresher, he himself can install the database, right, by seeing the document. So everything is documented and pre-recorded. So for those kind of activities, even though you are say for example for one position there are hundreds of people, and all those hundreds of people know how to install the database, then what will be the uniqueness, what will be the difference between you and the other person, right? So that's where performance tuning is a very added advantage skill for any DBAs, and specializing in performance tuning is very important for all the DBAs. Okay, so if you know this skill, then you will be unique compared to others, right? And you know certain things that others don't know. Okay, so this will be an opportunity for you to invest in yourself, and also to carry this investment so that you will get a lot of return on investment in your future career. Okay, so a lot of Fortune 500 companies prefer for problem solving DBAs rather than working on a documented task, right? So these kind of scenarios, you don't have any documented way of seeing these issues. Okay, so if there is an issue, then you have to analyze the issue, you need to get the data, and your perspective will be completely based on your experience, right? And individual person have their own uniqueness. Okay, so I see a SQL tuning issue in one perspective, so another DBA will be seeing in another perspective. So that's where the problem solving starts from our brain, right? So that is very important in future, right? So even artificial intelligence is currently automating every tasks, right? So even I already mentioned that SQL tuning is also having a lot of internal jobs, okay, in Oracle itself, so that may optimize the SQLs by itself, but that is only a limited percentage. Okay, so we have a lot of other opportunity to tune and fix, because humans, artificial intelligence cannot think like humans. Okay, so humans have that uniqueness and the perspectives, experiences, and human beings can connect with the universe, right? So obviously he has more experience and advantage, and he can do anything that is impossible. So that's why it's important for you to enroll for this course at this point of time. Okay, so I'll give you more details about the date and the fee structure of this course in the coming days. Okay, so it may be on February or March. Okay, so based on your responses, I will just update on each and every day about the planning of this course. Okay, so thanks for watching. So this is just a limited knowledge which is preserved, and which almost majority of the DBAs would not be knowing. Okay, so if you like this video, just subscribe, and just comment if you want to, if you are really interested in enrolling this course. Thanks for watching.